Hi everyone, welcome back to part 44 of my TemTem playthrough. In the last episode, we went ahead and tackled Belsodo clan, or at least tried to demolish their flying castle. At the end, we did destroy around 3 of the 4 machines that were required to fly the castle, and then at last we were able to escape. As we did escape, we landed into a lake which is right next to Lochburg. And Lochburg is actually the last region. It's in Aubrey. At least that's, I believe, how it's actually pronounced. But I'm pretty excited for today's episode. As we have already explored the small lake and collected around 4 stickers, which I would definitely recommend looking around for, we're now able to go ahead and explore the town of Lochburg itself. Since this is the last region, we do have a lot of storyline in this one. So here it is in the map. It's quite small, but we do have a dojo, which I'm pretty excited for. Once we do enter, it seems that a couple of people here are actually arguing on what actually fell out of the sky. Some people are talking about people from down below or high above. Although I'm not really sure what they mean by people of high above. I thought we were the people of high above. Either way, at least one of them have enough sense to point out that it was definitely a person who jumped out, which is, I believe, the girl right here. Either way, they do see us enter and ask us if we were the one who fell out from the castle. And I do have to explain myself, but unfortunately I do need to find Carlos. After all, he did jump with us, so hopefully he is safe as well. Either way, it is suggested that I should actually go ahead and talk to the dojo master, as she might know more, which is what we'll have to do. Before that, let me quickly explore this small town and collect all of the items or stickers that are available, which I believe there are around 5 stickers. Apparently, the more forward you go with these regions, the more stickers you find. Unfortunately, most of these stickers that I do find are actually damaged. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get them fixed. If I remember the last time we had to go through with the sticker quest, I had to talk to someone in Narwhal. Once we do get a choice to actually go into Narwhal, we'll be able to go ahead and move on forward with that. Either way, here is the Temporium and we're able to talk to the Temp Deck manager. Fortunately, this is actually the last slot upgrade he does, so his quest is now complete. I think it's pretty cool. We do get around 600 slots, which is, I think, pretty helpful. Other than this, I do not believe there is any updates for existing quests over here. But we do have one new quest which I'll be able to complete in this city or in this small town. So we are going to try and do that. Before that, I did actually go ahead and take some time, putting all of my new stickers into the book. My current count is around 63. Alright, there we go. I believe those are the stickers we'll be able to find. Now right here we do have some kind of cafe and we have actually a quest here. Let's quickly go ahead and talk to alright, the cafe owner. We do have a couple of really good dialogues with her, but she is talking about a quiz. I'm actually pretty interested, so let's give it a try. I would recommend you all see the correct answers here on screen before trying it, because you'll only get one chance. And based on how many correct answers you get different items. But if you do get all of the answers correct, you'll get some money, which is what I'm trying to focus on. So here are the answers. I'm not going to read it out loud, but I am actually selecting only the correct answers. And do be careful, if you do press A buttons or B button too fast, you might accidentally select a wrong option. Either way, There we go. That was the final question, and we are able to. Ooh, never mind. This is the final question. It's the 3 rivers. There we go. We are able to select the correct one. If you're wondering how I was able to find out about this, you'll actually be able to get to know this when you are going around the other regions. Pretty interesting. We also get a bait for actually winning the challenge and get around 1200 money, which I think is pretty helpful. Other than this, the only other task I have is to go ahead and challenge the dojo. I'm pretty nervous. This dojo is actually a melee dojo, so you'll have a lot of TemTems with part melee typing. In this case, if you do have, I believe, mental typing, you'll be able to do pretty well. Which in my case I do have, so I'm pretty happy. You'll also be able to use your Wen typing, I believe, but let's see how this goes. As I enter the dojo, it seems that the girl who actually saw us, come out of the water is now actually explaining it to someone here who I presume is actually the NPC for the dojo. I really do not know what they're called, but he's kind of representing the dojo, and the only thing he says is that we have to go through a tournament in order to talk to the dojo master. Unfair, but I'll accept it as I do want to defeat the dojo master as well. In this case, I'm actually not ready yet. Let me actually switch out my team members and then go with this battle. So here is my team. I've gone ahead and kept Oshikai up in front as well as Saku. The main thing for this dojo is that you have to go ahead and defeat 4 different tamers, one after the other, and you do not get a time to actually heal up, so do choose your TemTems quite carefully, or else you might end up missing the battles. I would also recommend having more items as well. Surprisingly, we actually find Carlos here, and apparently according to his storyline, he literally fell on top of the dojo building and people kind of had to bring a ladder to get him down. Unfortunately, when he did try to talk to the dojo master, he got told the same thing what we did, which means he has to defeat us to move on forward. Unfortunately, he's apparently not that good at battling, so we probably will be the one to tackle down all of the other trainers. But here is his TemTems, which is pretty interesting. I believe he has all 3 starters. In my case, I'm just waiting for the first turn to complete, as both of my moves are actually only accessible after the first turn. But there we go. Third Knight went down, and so does Size Munch. Up next, I believe we have Tental. Ooh, never mind. It's the final evolution. Alright. I did have to switch into Kazuma, obviously due to its 4 times weakness to electric type. But there we go. We are able to do pretty well against the very first battle. I would recommend having a part earth type up in front, as well as part, I would say, nature and wind. Most of these tamers do start with the TemTems that are actually weak to these typings, and that will kind of give you a boost. In my case, that is what I'm doing right here. Up next, we have our second tamer. Alright. Gallus should go down for a rockfall. All I have to do is wait for it to activate in the second turn. I believe melee type moves are pretty well against it as well. For Size Munch, I'm just gonna use a poison type move or a toxic type move for the first turn. Thankfully, it actually did not attack, so I'm just gonna go with Rockfall and Friend Whip. Ooh, that was pretty bad. It's also understandable considering that these TemTems are pretty higher in level, although I still feel that I'm pretty good with the level match. After this, I believe the game will actually start becoming much stronger or much tougher, so you might have to level up your team members at some point. But now we are still doing pretty well. For this last TemTem, Magmut, I do have to be a bit careful. Decided to switch out Oshukai and bring in my starter. Nezla is my biggest fear. Thankfully, it somehow focused on Saku, which means that I can actually escape, which is good. I believe that Magmut is actually a newer TemTem that we have yet to see. You'll only be able to find it here in Arbury. I also believe that you'll be able to find its pre-evolution in the very next pathway that we're going to go to after this town. So if you do want to add it to your team, it is pretty easily accessible. I also believe that last two team members in my case are also accessible only after this. Unfortunately, I am kind of worried. My very last team member, that is the 6th team member, is only accessible just before the final battle. I am not sure what I'll do. I might try to find it through trading, which is actually a good way to find most of your TemTems, especially if they are like this in the last region. But of course, for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to defeat this third tamer here. Alright, he actually has a Gorong, which is a bit trickier, but Gazuma should go down pretty easily. I still do have Oshukai up in front. Let me quickly go ahead and heal it up, but also try to take down Gazuma in one hit. I'm actually not sure what is super effective against Gorong, but I'm hoping that a Rockfall will actually take it down. But Gazuma does go down, which is good. For Saipat, I might have to switch out Antan, going to Gazuma in this case. Unfortunately, I misclicked and switched out my Oshukai, which is still pretty fine. I'm not too worried about Antan. It does have its healing trait, so it should be still pretty good. As for Gazuma, I'm just gonna go ahead and try using Chain Lightning. I do get hit by a Nico Sail, which is pretty powerful, but I did go with Electric Storm, which takes down Saipat. Right, that was pretty calculated, but we were still able to do pretty well. My only concern is that I still have one more tamer to defeat, so I do have to be a bit more careful. Make sure to heal up your TemTems as soon as possible, or you might just get stuck on the last tamer with very weak TemTems. In this case, this is the 4th and last tamer. I believe this is one of the easiest dojo. At least after everything we have gone through in the past 5 regions, this one's so much better. Now this tamer actually has a Golzi and a Mashuk. Golzi, I believe, will go down for a melee move, or I'm guessing that's the case. I believe it's part melee and part electric. I might be wrong. I'm just gonna go with the Turbine on Mashuk, which is definitely super effective. So any toxic type TemTem you see, just go with a wind type move. As for Golzi, it does go down with a Rockfall, which is still pretty good. Either way, that was a pretty easy battle, and we are able to defeat all 4 tamers. Now the Dojo MC does say that it might just be luck that we did win, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it is definitely not luck. That was quite calculated. I really wanted to go blind for this whole game, but after going through Sipanku and how tough the battles were over there, I decided to just go ahead and check out the region that I'm going to before I came into this game. So I do know that this is a melee dojo and we will actually have a continuous battle, but I had no idea that this item was here. That was just pure luck. Either way, I think those are the only 2 items you'll be able to find in this dojo, as the whole theme is quite simple. Either way, I think we are ready to go ahead and Murdug. She sounds pretty powerful. She also has a Golzi, which is a bit worrying. Now this battle is also pretty tough if you're not prepared. In my case, I do have really good TemTems here up in front. hopefully I'll be able to do something really good. She starts out with a scrunch, which I was able to immediately take down. Scrunch is 4 types weak to melee move. Second one is Moala, which you'll be able to find in the very next path. I believe it is part melee and part mental. Ooh, she actually has Grumper, which is a bit worrying. It can definitely take my starter down in one hit. Alright, let's see if we can take it down. Unfortunately, it does have Inductor, which is a really good trade for it, but bad news for me. So I had to switch out my starter. I went into Saku on the right time. Thankfully, Moala does go down. As for Grumper, yep, didn't do nothing. I'm hoping to take down Grumper with a nature type move. Up next, she brings out Magmut, so I do have to switch out. I could still keep Kazuma, but none of its moves are really that powerful. Hoping to take it down with Oshukai's Rockfall. Grumper goes down next. As you might have seen the trend, I am actually focusing on only one TemTem per each of these turns. We have a Monko, which is pretty cool to see. I believe it's part electric and part melee. This one's a bit tougher. Hopefully, yep, Rockfall did plenty damage. But I don't think Oshukai is a good TemTem to have up in front. Let's see what we can do. I'm just gonna go with a random move at this point. I had completely forgotten that Saku does have a mental type move, which is what I'm actually using here pretty soon. Unfortunately, Oshukai did go down, but at least so does Monko. Either way, she is down to her last TemTem, which is Golzi. Magmut will be going down in the next turn. It's only Golzi that I'm a bit worried about. Thankfully, I got to know that my starter will be able to do some damage. Unfortunately, my game did crash at this point, but I'm not worried. I'm pretty sure that whatever moves those two TemTems will use, my TemTems will still survive. Ooh, that was clutch. Whoever used a move on my starter, that was really bad. I'm guessing it's actually Golzi. The other thing that I did not realize was that Golzi is at level 76, which is literally the same level my team members are or were when I did start this dojo battle. That actually worries me a bit. But at least we did take down Murdoch, which is pretty cool. Hopefully after this one, I will be able to level up my team members a bit more. Once we do defeat her, we go ahead and question her about everything that has happened. Apparently, she has absolutely no idea on what happened back in Kisiwa, as well as about Bel Soto clan, which is weird. Someone definitely set up saying that she was too busy to come to the Congress, considering that she had absolutely no idea that that was happening. I'm not sure what to do next, but the only thing we can do is go ahead and go to the very next town. Apparently, there is a rivalry with the dojo master over there and Murdoch, so we might have to go ahead and tackle him. The Golzi behind her looks absolutely terrifying. I would never want to be in front of it in real life. That is stuff of nightmares right there. But now that we have talked to her, Carlos actually tells us that we might have to do something about this. They're also mentioning about Arctamers, which is someone who is super powerful. And they apparently say that Naila, who was the previous dojo master in Kisiwa, by the way, we actually saw Musa, who's actually her next generation or the next person who took over after her. So Naila is the one we have to find right now. Apparently, she was going to a meeting with the next dojo master in Papurton. I believe that's the name of the city. So we might have to go ahead and find her. It seems that this Lord of Arctamers is something that we are getting to know now. Arctamers are super powerful. There are around 4 of them and nobody has any idea who they are. Hopefully we do, or hopefully we get to actually see them soon. Apparently Murdoch here actually saw Max with Nala, which is suspicious. I thought Max actually went away, but I am now doubting that. Maybe that was a lie. I am not sure. Super confused. Maybe she is saying that Max came here with Nala way before the battle with General X happened. So I'm really not sure. Either way, we know what to do next. We have to go ahead and move on forward to Proper Town. That's the name. And we have to just go ahead and talk to the Dojo Master over there. Pretty interesting storyline. I'm kind of captivated by this. So I'm excited to go ahead and play this game a bit more. Either way, that is all I had for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, please put a like, and if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to my channel as it really helps me a lot. If you'd like to support me more, check out the links for Patreon and Ko-fi down in my description. But I'll see you all in the next one.